And I think we're live. So, hey guys, this is Rich. Thanks for tuning into the Joplin and Four States Area Networking Connection. Appreciate you stopping by today. I'm here today with Levi Babb. He's going to give us a little breakdown on what he does for a living. It's pretty exciting stuff. And before we get into that, I want to say, for the record, we are, it's our standard, non-standard disclaimer, by the way. For the record, we are not, nor will we ever be giving legal, investment, or health advice on this channel. Our opinions are our own. And if you need those services, you should seek competent advisors in those fields. This information is presented for entertainment purposes only. You have been warned. And this group is basically started by the idea of Zig Ziglar that you can get everything in life you want, just willing to help enough other people get what they want. And so that's what I do. I help people get what they want. And I don't know if I can help Levi. He's doing pretty good by himself, but if I can help him get anything, I'll be proud to say I was at least part of it. So Levi, welcome. Why don't you tell everybody kind of what you do?
Yeah, so I'm Levi Babb, everybody. I currently have a real estate sales company. I have an investment company, a property management company, a construction company, and then recently we just started a marketing company. So pretty much the heavy things that I do is the investing and real estate sales side. We've accumulated 75 doors. We've actually put 8 more properties under contract this week. So our goal is 300 this year. We've been in business on the investing side since 2018. Bought my first property in December there, and we've just been rocking and rolling since.
It's super impressive, man. I mean, way to just really move through those numbers because you think about a lot of people that to get to 10 properties, it'll take them a decade or longer. So, I mean,
Sure.
props to you for getting there and just crushing it right out of the gate. I mean, there's probably no dust anywhere around Levi because it's always in the air. So it never gets to land. So, so how did this start with you?
So basically, when I went to college, I went for accounting, and I I got in one of my classes, and they were talking kind of about the suicide rates around accounting and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, that's probably not anything that I want to really do or anything like that. And
I can relate with accounting. I don't know. I mean, so,
so
um,
yeah, so I
yeah,
went
I'm
back to
glad you
my
didn't do that.
advisor. No,
I'm glad you didn't
absolutely.
do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I went back to my advisor, and she said, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, ultimately one day I want to own my own business." And she said, "Well, you need to get your entrepreneurship certificates." And so that's what I did. And in that meantime, I went through and started working some construction, just trying to pay for that college degree and pretty much do
Oh, yeah.
no debt on that. And in doing so, learn kind of the construction trade and kind of went through that process. And in doing so, I met a lot of real estate agents and kind of was doing work on properties that were for sale at the time, stuff that during inspection period, stuff like that. So those conversations kind of started from there, and that got me into the sales business. That was about a year process in the construction. Went into sales, and then about a year later, from being in sales, is when I bought my first investment property in 18, and was just helping clients realizing the potential on properties and what they were getting on returns on those properties. And I was like, you know what, if I'm going to sell it, I might as well invest in it. And pretty much from there, just took that one and turned it into two more the next year, and then 11 more, and then we picked up 61 last year. So
Awesome. Yeah. And before I forget, because I tend to forget this, if you guys want to reach out to Levi, interested in following up and finding out more from him, in the description of whatever medium you're watching on is all his contact information, website. If you have a lead for him or whatever, feel free to reach out to him through those means. So anyway, and be sure to like and share this with your friends because I mean, people say, oh, it's just impossible to do the kind of stuff you do. Levi, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you did not come from a wealthy family that gifted you millions of dollars.
no, I actually bought my first deal pretty much little to no money out of my pocket. Did it on an owner finance deal. I had nothing, kind of leading me up to any of that. My parents were, working class people, and we just
Right.
didn't have a lot of extra or anything like that. And so there was nothing that
Right.
was fueling me.
Awesome.
I wasn't Donald Trump and get $1 million from my dad to start.
Right. Oh, if only, right?
Right,
So
right.
I'd like to give that opportunity to my children, though. I hope you're probably thinking
Oh,
the same thing.
absolutely.
Hey, man, if I can
Absolutely.
do it, I will.
I
But
will definitely.
that's me. I'm a trailer park kid, and I'm like that. Sorry, I'm just not wired to live there. I'm going to buy one, but a trailer park. But
Right, right.
So how long have you been doing this? Since 2018? Is that what you said?
Investing since December of 2018. So
Okay. And then what was that before that? It was the construction stuff. And how many years did you do that before you kind of made that jump?
So, so kind of going backwards from 2018, obviously did the sales for about a year. I was helping out those clients. Really took the opportunity to read a lot of books. Do a lot of self investigating, so that way I was making the right decision. One thing that a lot of people can't say either along doing these lines is I've never lost money on a deal.
Right.
So it's kind of having that knowledge and that front hand to be able to go forward on that as well. And so I definitely, before I enter something, I want to make sure that I have the knowledge going into it. Obviously, I'm still learning every day. I'm still and investing that knowledge into myself to make sure that going forward we're taking care of business as well. But in that early stage, it was definitely hammered down 24/7, just getting as much knowledge and information as possible. So kind of, when I was doing construction during college, kind of thinking about going and getting my license, there was probably about 3 or 4 months of just hard investigating of, is this really what I want to do? Do I want to go do
Right.
sales, or do I kind of want to stay with the construction theme? And I mean, we still, utilize that construction all the way through that process, but I didn't have to go out and break my body every day to make a living. I could kind of transition a little bit there and still be able to utilize those skills going forward.
That's where I was at 30 years old. My body said, "Look, I'm not doing this anymore," and and I had to figure out what to do. So,
Right. It took me about a year.
oh yeah. Well, I wish I was smart like you. Clearly, my body, it probably, the waking up. I remember the first morning I woke up and I went, "What happened?" And
Right.
like, this was no problem before. I don't know what's going on, and it only gets worse. Just so you know.
Oh,
So I'm glad you
absolutely.
stopped when you did. So,
Right.
uh, what were the biggest issues with getting started?
I mean, bankers, money, finances, those were my obstacles. Like I said, that first deal I took down was an owner finance deal. I had to hold on to that property for 8 months to be able to make it bankable. And then, I didn't have a W-2 income. I was 1099 doing real estate sales. So
Hmm.
trying to get that lender that would kind of back me with it. I was able to take that property and refinance it. Pulled out about $12,000 out of that property, and then that fueled me to be able to show that money and then the cash flow on that deal to go buy two more, and then those two I was able to show the bank, and we were able to refinance those, and then just kind of the relationship with the banking kind of got a little bit easier from there. But yeah,
Yeah.
definitely starting out, it was the finance side of things. I could
Yep.
find the deals, I could make sense of the numbers, but it was just getting that lending.
And that's the one thing I don't think a lot of people realize that and this, as of my experience, as of right now, this could change tomorrow, but it has always been easier for me to get something and own it and refinance it than get a loan to buy it.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
I mean, if you can take ownership in that, like your same thing, I did another one owner finance deal where, in fact, I just sold that one yesterday. So it was under contract anyway. But it's always easier to go to the bank. Go, look, I've already been owning this for a while, and they look at that more favorably for sure
Oh,
than
absolutely.
just buying it outright. Um, so did anybody tell you this wouldn't work when you got started?
Oh, absolutely. My own parents were telling me that I was done for getting into real estate, and now my dad kind of gives me crap every once in a while that he wants to come work for me. So
Sure, yeah. Well, if you tell them you're not going to make much, you're getting paid less than everybody else. So
right, right.
I don't think it'll work. Just tell him that, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely. But no, yeah, I mean, I definitely had the haters, early on that, were just like, hey, you're not going to succeed with this. It costs a lot of money. The lawsuits, the bad, the ugly, tenants are bad. Just all the negativity with it instead of, looking at the positive aspect. I mean, with any business, there's that liability and that possibility that, stuff can just go wrong, and it's going to happen. I mean, you just got to be structured right and set to be able to kind of take those obstacles. But yeah, I mean, there's always going to kind of be those haters.
yeah, I agree. I tell people all the time. I think that you got to watch your circle. Sometimes your circle doesn't want to see you elevate above it.
And sometimes you have to change that circle early on.
Yep.
I'm divorced, and I had to change my circle, in a very drastic way. And there's sometimes that you have to realize that to be able to ultimately meet your goals that you want in life. And
Yep.
sometimes it's your own spouse that's in your way.
Yep. 100%. So I've been dragging mine forever. She's finally on board. It only took 20 years. So, but I'm committed. So what can I say? I've
There
been
you
committed.
go.
It's one or the
There
other,
you go.
right? Yeah, so,
Right.
so, so do you love what you do now?
Oh, absolutely. It's never work. It's always fun.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's what I wish for everyone. If they, everybody's like, well, you get a flexible, whatever job. And I was like, well, yeah, because I work like 7 days a week. So it's got to be pretty flexible. I mean, all the weird hours and everything else, you gotta, but if I just love it. I mean, there's nothing I would do that different than this. I wish I'd have found this 25 years ago.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I
So
can take off between 2 and 4 during the day if I want to, but I can promise you, I mean, my staff, they're gonna tell you that I came back at 6 o'clock and I worked till 10
right.
to make up for it. So
It's funny. I was talking to my brother the other day. He runs a company in Atlanta, and he was talking about how he sent an email at 6:30 in the morning. Now, if you know my brother, if he's up at 6:30, that's because he did not go to sleep that night.
right.
And so I was like, man, they must have known you were sick if you sent an email at 6:30 in the morning. That's what he was sending them an email about. And he was like, yeah, they even commented that they'd never seen an email that early that meant, he wasn't getting ready to go to bed. So, but that's the thing. He owns a company there, so he's got the flexibility to do what he needs to do. So,
Sure, absolutely.
um, so how did you find this job? We covered a little bit, but
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much kind of like I said, going back to the construction side of things, started just putting my name out there in those regards. And a couple of real estate agents had kind of word of mouth heard about me, and they had me go do some maintenance items on some properties that they managed, and then some homes that were under contract that needed, little things here and there that just needed to get it to the closing table. And just kind of struck up a conversation one day with an agent, and she thought I presented myself in a way that would strive in the real estate sales industry. And so kind of those communications and conversations just kind of continued over a couple of months while I did my research, and finally one day it was just like, yeah, this makes sense. Let's make the leap. So
awesome.
that got me into the sales, and then obviously the sales opened my eyes up to the investment realm.
Yeah, that's awesome. And um, if someone watching wanted to follow the same career path that you've taken, would you recommend doing it the same way, or is there a better way?
I'd recommend having a conversation with me, and we can see where you're at in the current aspect of what you're doing and the goals of what you want. I mean, real estate, I think, as you know, isn't for everybody. You've kind of got to have that inspiration, maybe, to want to get into it. There's definitely those days that they'll kick you, and if you can't get through those days, then that's kind of maybe something not for everybody. But if you can get through those tough days, those tough weeks, those tough months, then it can be very rewarding. So and the way I did it, I cut stuff. I mean, I'm just, when I made the transition from construction to the real estate sales, I literally just completely cut the construction side of things and was like, I'm going to dive in. And so
Right.
I had about, 2 months worth bills that were going to be able to be paid for, and that was my time frame. And
That's right. That's
I
the
had to
way you
make
got
it
to
go
do it,
work.
man. I mean, I know so many people who are like, well, I'm going to do it part time and then get into it. And it's like, part time doesn't work. You
I
can't be a
haven't seen
part
much
time real
success
estate
with
agent.
it. No.
Yeah, I mean, you can't because people are demanding. They're like, hey, I've got to see this at 10 o'clock in the morning. Unless you've got a whole bunch of other people who you can rely on to go show something, you're going to lose that deal every time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, oh, that's awesome. So for the people watching now, what do you need help with? Like, if is there anything that you could be like, man, I could use really these one or two things. What would that be?
More deals, always more
More
deals.
deals. That's a great answer.
More deals, and just more connections, more relationships. We're hiring for some maintenance and construction remodelers, and so kind of people that are ready to work. Deals are always a good thing. Banking relationships. I'm always open to talking to new individuals, new bankers. We've kind of talked about this before. Private lenders, pretty much anybody that can keep things going forward and the growth that we want to do.
Do you oh gosh, I lost my train of thought there. I can't even believe it. I had a great question, but I was letting you finish, and it'll come up later, I'm sure. It was not on a scripted one. That's what makes it tough on me.
Right.
But anyway, so we'll just go on, and I'll figure it out later. And then, do you have a mentor?
So I used to have a mentor. Kind of fell off a little bit there. I actually humbly would like to say I outgrew them. And so I guess if you said a mentor, I do a lot of following with Grant Cardone and do a lot with his programs, the 10X conference and his 10X programs. Past that, it's just a lot of just connections from there.
Hmm. And how did you find that original mentor?
It actually took some time. It took about a year and a half of really diving in. I'd actually went through 4 or 5 people, just different phone calls, different setup times. We were doing Zooms, weekly phone calls, monthly follow-ups, and it was just it seemed like more and more that it was, hey, listen, go do this, and this is the only path. And I don't like being told that there's only one path. There's always a solution to every problem, and a lot of times you got to get very creative with it, and you really have to think outside the box. And so that was the biggest thing for me is I wanted somebody that was like-minded with that and would constantly be outside the box on
Sure.
thinking. And so that's kind of why it took me so long. There's a lot of mentors out there. There's big mentors like Grant Cardone, several other guys are out there. There's a lot of stuff with Bigger Pockets, stuff like that you can kind of get sucked into. And I would say that you got to be careful with it. Just definitely do your homework with it. Don't stick to just one single guy. If you're looking for a mentor, you want to stick with that one guy, but also kind of go out and I'd say kind of talk around to some other people and just kind of keep yourself honest with it, so that way that mentor actually has you in mind and your growth
Right.
in mind. So that's kind of what I'd say about that.
That's good advice, because that's the thing too. Is I don't have a mentor per se. I mean, I have people I follow like Grant or Robert Kiyosaki or whoever, but I don't need them to tell me every day what to do,
Right.
or to follow up with, hey, look, do this. I'm like, hey, I already know what they're doing. I just need to emulate. So, and if I emulate, I should be even partially successful compared to what they've done. So.
Sure.
But yeah, oh, and I remember what I was going to ask. I mean, it's a miracle. My brain kicked back in. So, as far as the people you're looking to hire, is that in the Joplin area? Is that pretty much where you're doing all your stuff? Joplin, Webb City, Carthage stuff?
Yeah, pretty much Joplin Metro. We
Okay.
are looking to do some stuff up around the Stockton area and over in the Springfield area, but at the current moment, we're looking at pretty much Joplin Metro. So,
Okay. All right.
pretty much any city right outside of the Joplin area or the Joplin area. That's pretty much where we invest in currently.
Okay. All right. That's what I wanted. And just in case somebody's watching, and I was like, wait, we better cover that so they
Sure,
know.
sure.
And I hate the guy in St. Charles to send you a resume. So
Hey, come on down. We might be a fit for you.
that's right. And so how can people get a hold of you?
So probably the best way to get a hold of me is any of my Facebook pages. A lot of my stuff goes through my staff kind of first. Kind of as that onion peel per se. They kind of do a very good job for what we're looking for on particular things within our company, and then pretty much from there, I can definitely be reached, and I'm very much a part of that. But kind of do that filtration system that way. So I'd say that that's pretty much the easiest way to get a hold of us.
Awesome. And totally off subject, but I did want to plug the Joplin RIA. That's where we met up. How long have you been going to the RIA?
So I've been going to the RIA, I think, a full year now.
Awesome.
I've kind of went a couple of times before then, but more consistently within basically the last year.
Yep. No, it's a great group of people. If you're not, if you're watching this, whether you're, Joplin, Kansas City, wherever, you need to find a RIA if you're interested in real estate, because that's where you're going to get all the people who are like, hey, I'm already doing this. This is how you're going to do it. And you can emulate and be successful. So, and you want to hang around other successful people. It makes a huge difference in your life. So, well, anyway, that was all my questions, even with the extra ones. So is there anything that you have for everybody that we didn't cover you'd like them to know?
Oh, I mean, I definitely, touch base on that RIA. I mean, I've met a lot of great people like yourself, Rich, out there, and I definitely think that it's a great group, and there's been business and deals that have been done through that group already, in the past year that I've been a part of personally, and so. To anybody out there that is, watching in on this, listening, I definitely recommend getting a part of some group. Definitely, surround yourself with the people that you want to strive to be, would be one of the biggest things that I would have to say has kind of been success for me is, every time that I want to level up, I go out and find those people to be able to level up with. So,
Well,
kind of back to that, just saying that, sometimes you have to change those fear of people that you hang out with. And so, consistently have, that group above you and kind of that group below you. So that way you can kind of be that individual in the middle that can segue all the way to the top.
right. And, that's the thing. I mean, you look at athletes or whatever, they never play down to get better. You
No,
got to play up, man. You got to be, that's the way you're going to build your confidence too. I mean, I'm probably overly confident on a lot of stuff just because I did a bunch of crap that nobody else did. So, I mean, but it comes with the territory, right? I'm an
sure. No,
arrogant butt,
absolutely. Yeah. I
but
mean,
hey, I earned it.
you definitely have to have that group ahead of you, and then still kind of keep that group behind you as well, because there, especially in the real estate investing game, there's a lot of times that you can go buy something up, but in some situations, a situation that we're looking at is getting rid of our single families and completely going multifamily and commercial. And so I've kind of got some guys below me that I have those opportunities to be able to pass on those deals to and be able to
Sure.
enrich them with. And so you kind of got to segue that middle ground. You got to keep those people and hang around with them somewhat, but then still go play, the level up. So that way you're growing as well.
That's awesome advice. So anyway, well, thank you for making time for us today. And then again, if everybody, Levi's info is in the description. So reach out to him. If you have any questions for him on anything, he find any deals that he needs, let him know, and make sure you tell him you saw him here. And that way he can at least know that he didn't waste his time today. So anyway, but thank you for making time for us, Levi.
Absolutely.
And you guys have a good time. Don't forget to check us out next time, and we will see you guys later. Thanks a lot and have a great day.